What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Life's a Dance podcast. I am your host, Trey Culotta. Thank you, as always, for pressing play and joining me on this adventure into the human mind as we untangle all the crazy shit that's going on in our heads so that we can understand ourselves better, be our most authentic selves, and live our most authentic lives and achieve those goals and dreams that, we all want to achieve in our lives. So again, thank you for supporting the channel and my mission. Today, we are talking about the concept of giving yourself grace and balance. Because lately, I have felt like I have been really tilted in one direction and kind of losing my sense of balance in my life because I've been so focused on finishing this land development project that I've been working on because it's come to a head. Everything, we had to kick it in a high gear to get everything finished. And I think that this is a concept that's especially tough for women to handle because we have to wear so many hats. We have to be the mom, we have to be, the working mom. And right now I'm actually kind of playing the role of single mom because my husband is working out of town most days. And so I'm here alone and I have to now, I'm the landscaper and the cleaning lady. And so there's a lot, we have to juggle a lot. And, I can imagine that men probably struggle with this somewhat as well. But I think for us as women, it's definitely top of mind issue. And the thing is we have to give ourselves permission to give ourselves grace. This is also a hard one for me. It's very tough for me to kind of take my foot off the gas pedal. As many of my friends and family who are close to me know, I am very high energy. I am go, go, go all the damn time. I mean, literally my nickname is the Energizer Bunny. So you can imagine it's tough for me to slow down sometimes. And even like the idea of taking last week off from the podcast was tough. I wanted to stay true to my commitment to my community of, putting something out there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I just couldn't do it. I could not do it. Time just did not permit. And I just, again, have to remind myself. And as I remind myself, I want to give you a reminder that it's okay to, give yourself some grace if we have to take a step back and rest sometimes. And I know that I'm always harping on discipline and, repetition and staying true to the commitments that we make to ourselves. But it's inevitable that life is going to pop up and shit is going to happen. And there are going to be periods in life where, for instance, like right now, my health routine isn't as dialed in. I've had to take breaks from my normal weightlifting routine and my eating habits have kind of slipped. I'm doing the best that I can though, but they have slipped because I've been traveling so much back and forth to the property. I haven't really had time to meal prep and, I'm running around with the kids and it's a lot. And so sometimes I just have to figure out, what's left over in the fridge or order something from DoorDash in order to make shit happen. And that's okay. But it can be a slippery slope. And this is the part that I think is difficult for a lot of us is figuring out where giving ourselves grace is turning into making excuses for not doing the things that we know that we need to do in order to keep making, positive progress and keep our confidence levels up and know that we're keeping our promises to ourselves, right? And showing that level of integrity to ourselves and the commitments that we make to others as well. So, and that's kind of where it's all an individual scale, I guess is the best way I can put it. There's shades of gray. Because for me, I'm very hard on myself when I don't, stick to my commitments. I can feel the difference in my energy levels and my spiritual, frequencies when I am not sticking to the normal routine that I am used to. But again, just understanding that there are going to be periods in life where this happens, and knowing that being the type of person that I am, I will get back on the horse and I will work to recreate that balance once this kind of chaotic period in my life is coming to a close, or has come to a close, which it is coming to a close, which is nice. And now it's going to be on to the next adventure. But for now, I have to remind myself that it's okay that I'm feeling a little imbalanced, and that because I'm feeling out of whackers, I might need to take a step back and slow down and not be so hard on myself when I'm not checking everything off the to-do list. I literally had to just do 4 loads of laundry yesterday because it had fallen so far behind. And I'm sitting here looking at all this clean laundry that just needs to be folded and hung up, and feeling the overwhelm around that, on top of the fact that I haven't been exercising as much, on top of the fact that, my kids have all these friggin' doctor's appointments, on top of the fact that, we're dealing with delays with our build, and trying to put out fires and find people to fix issues. And, because the cabin's 2 hours away, I can't do everything. I can't just run over there and fix shit. So there's a lot going on. A lot of overwhelm. And sometimes we just have to, in those moments, take a breath, step back, and say, you know what? I'm going to do my best. And that is enough. I may not be 100% clean on my eating, but you know what? I'm going to do my best with what I've got. And that is good enough. And as soon as the chaos and the clouds and, subside, we're going to get right back on that horse. But a word of caution, to not slip so far onto one side that you start making excuses as to why you shouldn't be doing those things. Because trust me, the minute that I have time to do a workout or lift heavy, I'm going to be doing it. I found time this week to get in here and record for you guys because I didn't want to go more than a week without, communicating and getting something out there and producing something. Because you guys are important to me and this podcast is important to me. So as much as we need to prioritize ourselves, let's prioritize ourselves and make sure that we understand what's important and what we need to come back to once we've had that rest. I know that they say a good rule of thumb is don't go more than a day without X, Y, or Z. If you're trying to form new habits or good habits, just if you need to skip a day, but don't skip more than one day. And even yesterday, for instance, I had to eat kind of a high carb lunch, but then at dinner time, I made sure that I ate some fish and vegetables and some really healthy fats to kind of counterbalance all the carbs that I ate in the middle of the day, because carbs aren't bad. It's just the amount, right? So just as an example. So just always kind of be looking for, I guess in conclusion, just ways to find that balance in the chaos. If you need to take your foot off the gas pedal for a day, take your foot off the gas pedal, come back the next day and figure out what is the most important thing that you need to prioritize. Or when you're within your day, like I did with my eating, it's okay, right now I've got to just do what I can to get through, but I'm going to prioritize a healthy dinner. I'm going to make sure that I put myself first and prioritize something that is going to nourish my mind and my body. So just kind of looking for those little gaps and not falling into a trap of making excuses, because I feel like that's, again, it's a slippery slope, guys. There is a difference between giving ourselves grace and figuring out a way to make things work in the meantime until you can get back into a normal routine. Okay, it's two very different things. And it's very easy to slide into that excuse mode. Well, I'll start Monday. Well, when this is over, then I'll get back into exercise. Then I'll get back into my reading. Then I'll get back into my meditation. Meditation is another one that I've totally fallen off the horse. And I finally had to say to myself, prioritize 5 minutes. Because I was getting up to about, 20 minutes worth of meditation every day. And just because I can't do 20 minutes doesn't mean that I can't find time for 5, whether it's in the beginning of my day or at the end. So make the adjustments, give yourself some grace, give yourself permission to take rest when you need it, because that is also very important to avoid overwhelm. Because I have literally been going through the roller coaster of overwhelm as we speak, okay? And it's not over yet. So we've still got a little ways to go before we sign, seal, and deliver the end of this project and move on to phase 2. So anyhow, that's going to do it for today, my friends. I love you all dearly. If you got anything out of this, I would encourage and invite you to share it with somebody else that's like-minded, that might also need to hear this message. And I hope you take some time for yourself. I hope you give yourself some grace. And until next time, you know what to do. Let's dance.